You know, there are moments in life when we realize just how much someone meant to us. Not just the grand gestures or the big moments, but the small, everyday things. And I want to talk about something today that we often don't talk enough about, how a woman misses you, truly misses you. First, they miss you when they see a part of you in their daily life. It could be a little thing, something that brings a smile to their face. Maybe it's the coffee shop you used to visit, the song you both loved, or even the way you used to laugh at a certain joke. These little triggers are constant reminders of what once was. And when she encounters them without you, it's like a soft ache in her heart. She realizes just how much of you is woven into the fabric of her routine. Then there's the moment when life gets tough and she faces a hard day without you by her side. The world has a way of throwing challenges our way, and during those hard times, a woman often wishes she could reach out to you for a comforting word or just to be reminded that she's not alone. When she realizes you're not there to support her, that's when the longing hits deep and real, because it's in the struggles that we miss the strength and love we once had to help us get through. And how about the times when she hears something that reminds her of your words? We all have those moments when someone says something, and it just clicks, almost like the person you shared your life with was speaking to you from beyond. Maybe it's a piece of advice, a joke, or even a phrase that became your own special language. When she hears it, it's like you're there with her, and she can't help but miss the way your words used to make everything seem clearer. You also have to know that she misses you when she experiences success or joy. It's the little victories in life, the promotions, the breakthroughs, the happy moments, and in those times she looks around and you're not there to share the joy. She wonders what it would have been like to celebrate together. That feeling, that longing is deeper than you might think. Success feels less sweet when there's no one to share it with, and that absence makes her miss you even more. But here's something profound: a woman misses you the most when she's surrounded by people but still feels lonely. It's a strange thing, isn't it? How can you feel alone when there are so many people around? But that's the thing, no one really understands her the way you did. No one can fill the space you once held in her heart. In these crowded moments, she can't help but feel the emptiness, and that's when the longing for you grows stronger than ever. And finally, she misses you when she reflects on how much she's grown since you were part of her life. Time has a way of healing, of teaching us lessons, of showing us the path we need to take. But as she reflects on her journey, she starts to realize how much you impacted her. You shaped her in ways that no one else could. And in those quiet moments of reflection, she feels the weight of your absence. So my friends, a woman misses you the most when she sees pieces of you in her world, when life gets hard, when she celebrates joy alone, when she's surrounded by people who don't really understand her, and when she thinks back to how much she's grown. These are the moments when she feels your absence the most. And what does that tell us? It tells us that love isn't just about being there in the big moments. It's about being there in the small ones, the ones that shape the daily rhythm of life. And when you're gone, it's not the absence of just your presence. She feels it's the absence of your heart, your voice, your wisdom, and your love. Remember, love leaves an imprint that lasts. So if she misses you, it means you mattered in ways that go beyond what we can measure. When a woman misses you, it often starts with the little things that fill her day, the things she once shared with you, or the things that remind her of the time you spent together. It's fascinating, really. It's not always the grand gestures that leave the most lasting impression, but those small, almost unnoticed moments that intertwine with her everyday life. Perhaps it's the place you both used to go for coffee, or that song you always played when you were together. Even a familiar smell, the one that takes her right back to the moments you shared. These aren't just random occurrences. These are the quiet triggers that cause her heart to ache a little, because every time she encounters them, she's reminded of you. It's as if part of you never left. There's a connection in the mundane, a rhythm in the routines you once had together. The morning sunlight shining through the window, the way she used to pick up her phone to text you something funny that happened during the day. It's in those moments she notices your absence the most. These everyday parts of her life used to feel complete with you. in them. Now, every time she encounters something familiar, it's like she's left with a soft longing. And it isn't just about missing a moment, it's missing the sense of comfort and familiarity that came with sharing those parts of life with you. It's the simple, everyday things that make her heart ache and remind her of how deeply you were once woven into the fabric of her world. It's almost as if the world itself has your imprint, and every corner she turns, every familiar place she visits, brings her back to the times you were together. That's when she realizes, when these memories resurface, that she's missing not just a person, but the way you fit into the flow of her life. These small things are constant, ever-present reminders that once everything felt just right when you were there. And now she's left with a quiet longing as these little pieces of you continue to show up in her day, reminding her that some things once experienced can never be fully replaced. When a woman faces a hard day without you by her side, that's when the weight of your absence hits her the hardest. Life has a way of throwing challenges at us when we least expect it. And during those difficult times, she finds herself wishing, almost desperately, that she could reach out to you. Whether it's the stress of a demanding day at work, a personal setback, or a moment of self-doubt, it's in those vulnerable times that she longs for your support the most. You see, when you were there, she knew she could count on you to listen, to offer comfort, or even to provide a perspective that would help her see beyond the immediate struggle. There's a unique strength in knowing that someone has your back, that someone understands the burdens you carry and is there to help you bear them. Your words of encouragement, the way you reassured her that she could handle anything life threw her way, became her foundation. Now, when she's facing challenges, the absence of that support leaves a void. It's not just about the physical presence, it's the emotional security, the steady hand to hold, the reminder that she's not alone. In those moments, she might find herself reaching for the phone only to realize she can't call you. It's in these times of hardship that she truly understands the depth of what you brought to her life. Your encouragement and belief in her gave her the strength to keep going. And without it, she feels that extra weight on her shoulders. The world can feel a little colder, a little more overwhelming without the support she once had from you. She faces the struggle, but this time it feels lonelier, more isolating. And that's when she misses you most, the way you would calm her fears, help her find perspective, and remind her of her own strength. It's those moments of emotional vulnerability when she longs for the comfort of your presence and the reassurance that everything will be okay, because with you by her side, she knew it would be. There are moments in life when a woman hears something that instantly takes her back to the times you were together, to the words you shared that left a lasting mark on her heart. It might be a phrase, a piece of advice, or even a way of speaking that reminds her so much of you. It could be something simple like a line from a song you both loved, or a sentence someone else says that mirrors what you once told her. In those fleeting moments, she hears your voice in her mind, and it's as if you never left. Sometimes it's not even the grand speeches or deep conversations that she remembers most, but the little nuggets of wisdom you gave her. It's the things you said that helped her make sense of a chaotic world, or the reassuring words that made her feel seen and understood. Maybe you told her to trust herself, or that she could accomplish anything she set her mind to. Maybe you reminded her of her worth when she doubted it. In those moments when she hears something that echoes your voice, it's as if she's pulled back into the space where you two shared those words, and it stirs a longing she didn't expect. What's even more profound is how those words stick with her long after you've said them. They become a part of her internal dialogue, a compass that guides her through life's challenges. She might not have realized it at the time, but what you said shaped her in ways that now influence her every decision. And when she hears those words again, whether from someone else or in a fleeting memory, it reminds her of the bond you had, of the strength you gave her just through your words. That's when the absence is most felt, when she hears something that could have come straight from your mouth, and it hits her that you're no longer there to offer that guidance, to share those moments of clarity. In those quiet instances, she misses the way you spoke to her, the way you made her feel like everything would be okay. Your words weren't just words, they were a reminder of love, of support, of belief in her when she needed it the most. And hearing them again brings all of that back, making her realize just how much she longs for you to be part of her world again. When a woman experiences a new success or a moment of joy, it's often accompanied by a sense of pride and excitement, but also a quiet emptiness when she realizes you're not there to share it with her. Successes, big or small, are sweeter when you have someone by your side who understands the effort it took to get there, someone who celebrates with you and acknowledges the journey. When she reaches a milestone, whether it's a promotion at work, a personal achievement, or something as simple as accomplishing a goal she set for herself, there's an inherent desire to share that happiness with someone who's been part of her story. And in those moments, she might find herself looking around, wishing you were there to witness it, to offer that proud smile or heartfelt congratulations that meant so much when you were together. The joy of a new accomplishment often feels a little less fulfilling when she can't turn to you and say, "We did it." It's not about having people around her. It's about you, the one person who understood the significance of her hard work, the one who knew the sacrifices she made to get there. Your presence, your shared moments of joy were what made those achievements feel complete. When she hits a new high, it's as if there's a part of the celebration missing, a piece of her heart that longs to relive those victories with you, to hear your voice saying, "I'm so proud of you." It's especially noticeable when she finds joy in something that's deeply personal, perhaps an accomplishment she once doubted she could achieve, or something that holds a special meaning between the two of you. When she reaches that point, she might feel the sting of absence even more, because this was something she always imagined sharing with you. In those quiet, proud moments, there's a space that only you could fill, and when you're not there to celebrate with her, it's a reminder of the void left behind. It's not just the big wins either. Sometimes it's those small joys, those little victories that mean the world. Whether it's a breakthrough in her personal growth, a new skill she's mastered, or something that brings her peace, she might find herself wishing you were there to see it, to recognize the significance in a way only you could. In those moments, the absence is profound. Success feels incomplete without the one person who understood and appreciated the depth of her efforts, the person who was once the first to cheer her on. When she encounters new joy, she can't help but feel that bittersweet longing for you to be there to share it, to remind her once again that she's not only capable but deserving of all the happiness in the world. There's something incredibly isolating about being surrounded by people yet feeling utterly alone. For a woman who once shared her life with you, this feeling of loneliness in a crowd can hit harder than anything else. She can be in a room full of people, perhaps at a social gathering, a family event, or even just sitting at a busy cafe, and yet all she can feel is the absence of your presence. It's as if no one around her truly understands her the way you did. No one sees her the way you saw her. No one can make her feel as seen or heard as you did. In these moments, the noise of the crowd becomes background noise, and all she can hear is the echo of a silence that used to be filled with your voice, your laughter, or your understanding. It's not that she doesn't appreciate the people around her, but there's something about the connection you shared with her that no one else can replicate. You knew her in ways that no one else could. You understood her fears, her dreams, her quirks, and the little things that made her unique. Those moments of genuine connection with you made everything feel different. They made her feel like she wasn't just another face in the crowd. Now, as she's surrounded by people, the contrast is stark. The conversations, the interactions, the smiles, everything feels superficial, almost like she's wearing a mask to get through it. No one knows the real her, the version of herself that only you got to see. No one can fill the space you left behind, and she finds herself yearning for that deep, authentic connection she once had with you. This feeling of loneliness in a crowd can be overwhelming. It's as if the more people there are, the more isolated she feels. Because the truth is, no one can truly replace the bond you two shared. In these moments, the weight of missing you becomes heavier. It's not just the absence of a partner or a lover, it's the absence of someone who made her feel truly understood. And when she's surrounded by people, she can't help but feel the stark difference, the way everything seems so much less meaningful without you there to experience it with her. Even in the brightest of rooms, the noise of laughter and the bustle of activity, her heart aches for the one person who once made her feel whole. The crowd might be full of faces, but none of them can fill the void that your absence has left behind. It's a loneliness that comes from within, a sense of being adrift in a sea of people who don't truly see her in the way you did. And that's when she realizes how much she misses you, the one person who could make her feel like she mattered, the one person who truly understood her heart. As time passes, a woman often finds herself reflecting on the path she's walked since you were part of her life. It's a quiet, introspective kind of reflection, where the moments and milestones that have shaped her are viewed through the lens of what once was. The journey with all its ups and downs becomes clearer in hindsight. And it's in these quiet moments of looking back that she realizes just how much you impacted her life. She might think about the person she was when you first crossed paths, the hopes, the dreams, the uncertainties, and how much has changed since. The lessons learned, the growth that has happened, and the person she has become are all marked by your presence in her life. There were moments both joyful and challenging where you offered guidance, love, and support, and those moments are etched in her heart. The path she's walked since has been shaped, in part, by the conversations you had, the lessons you taught her, and the way you helped her see herself in a new light. Even if she's achieved success or found happiness along the way, there's an awareness that your influence was woven into those victories. Perhaps she's become more confident, more self-aware, or more resilient because of the way you helped her grow. The love and the bond you shared gave her the strength to face what life had in store. And when she reflects on her journey, she can't help but acknowledge how much of that journey was shared with you and how much of that experience shaped who she is today. There are moments when she wishes you could see her now, after all the growth and changes. She might have overcome challenges she once thought impossible or reached milestones that felt distant when you were together. And in those moments, she can't help but wonder how you would have celebrated those victories with her, how you would have seen her, and how you would have been proud of the woman she's become. But more than that, she reflects on the lessons you taught her, not just with words, but with your actions, your support, and the love you gave her. Those lessons didn't just vanish when you parted ways. They remain deeply embedded in her heart, influencing the way she moves through the world. In these reflections, there is a mix of gratitude and longing. Gratitude for the way you were part of her life, for the impact you had, and for the love you shared. And longing because there's a recognition that the person she is now, the strength she carries with her, was shaped by the time you spent together. Even as she continues on her journey without you, she can't help but reflect on how different things might have been if you were still there, standing beside her as she navigates the world. This reflection is a bittersweet one, filled with both pride for how far she's come and an ache for the bond that was once there, guiding her along the way. She realizes that even though time moves on, the imprint you left on her life remains a constant reminder of what you meant to her and the role you played in shaping the woman she is today. And in the silence of these reflections, she misses you not just for the person you were, but for the person she became with you by her side. In the end, the truth is clear. A woman misses you not just for the grand moments or the love you shared, but for the deep connection woven into the fabric of her daily life. She misses you in the quiet triggers that remind her of the time you spent together, in the tough days when she faced challenges without your support, in the moments of joy when she wished you were there to celebrate, and in the crowds where she feels an emptiness no one else can fill. She misses you when she reflects on the journey she's walked since you, realizing how much of her growth, her strength, and her achievements were shaped by the love and guidance you once gave her. Love leaves a mark on the heart in ways we often don't realize until it's gone. And for her, the longing isn't just about missing a person, it's about missing the presence that made her feel seen, heard, and understood in ways no one else can. Your absence leaves an ache in the places where you once were, in the spaces you shared, and in the love you gave. But even in the missing, there's a sense of gratitude because the love and impact you had on her life are still a part of her, influencing the person she's become and continues to be. Though you may not be there physically, your imprint remains woven into the very essence of who she is. And that, my friends, is something that time and distance can never take away.